Hello, we're doing lesson 10.3, finding the slope of a line. So we have a few vocabulary words to learn here. We have the word slope. That's the ratio that describes the steepness of a line. And we'll talk a little bit more about that one. That's going to be the focus of this lesson. The rise is the vertical change. The run is the horizontal change. And when we say change, we mean from one point on the line to another point on the line. So we have a small little graph here. If we had, for example, if we had a point right there, and we wanted to know that its rise and its run, we're talking about picking another point on the line. So let's say right here at the end, its run is two spots over. So that's the horizontal change, is positive 2. I've also gone up positive 2 or have risen positive 2, so the rise would be 2. So the ratio, that's the rise over the run. In other words, the difference of one versus the difference of another. And that's the steepness of the slope. When a line goes upward from the left to the right, we call that a positive slope. So this blue line is an example of that. From the left to the right, it goes up. So that's a positive slope. If a line starts from the left and goes down to the right, that is called a negative slope. And we're always talking about the slope from left to right. How do you find the slope? You simply take your rise and your run and you divide. You use that ratio to figure it out. So for example, in this little red line here, we take the 2 points. So for example, if I take this point and this point, my run goes in the negative direction by 2. So negative 2. Run is on the bottom. So negative 2. My rise is in the positive direction of 2. Or if I did it from here, positive direction of 2. So my rise is 2. My run is negative 2. When I put them in proportion, rise always goes on top. 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. So my slope is negative 1. So slope's pretty easy. A point will be given when you are asked to graph a line. For example, this point right here, this orange point, is 2, negative 1. Remember, the x always is first, so we start at the origin, move 2 in a positive direction, 1 in a negative direction. That represents our first point right here. That's our example. They will also give you a slope. So for example, here our slope is 2 divided by 3, or 2/3. Doesn't always have to be a whole number. Sometimes it's just a simplified fraction. Remember, the rise is over the run. That means my run is 3, my rise is 2. So if I rose 2, that would be in a positive direction. That would be rising 2. And if I did the run, positive 3, it'd be 1, 2. I'd have to go one more spot over, and that would be my other line. Whoops. And then all I would need to do is use a straight edge to connect those, and that's how I would graph my line. So you graph the point that's given. You graph the next point by figuring out the rise and the run. So you can either rise first and then run, or you can run first and then rise. Either way it works. And you simply draw the line. Happy practicing.